King Solomon, son of David, began his reign with a heart full of humility and a desire to lead God's people with wisdom. He was young, inexperienced, and overwhelmed by the weight of the crown. One night, God appeared to him in a dream and asked, "What shall I give you?" Solomon didn't ask for riches, fame, or power. He asked for a heart of understanding to know right from wrong and guide Israel with justice. God was pleased. He gave Solomon wisdom beyond any human before or after him, and along with it came blessings, wealth, peace, influence, and honor across the nations. Israel flourished like never before. Silver became as common as stones. The temple he built for God shined like the sun, covered in gold and filled with the glory of the Lord. But greatness brings danger, and Solomon, in all his glory, forgot the most important command God gave him. Do not turn your heart away from me. At first, Solomon walked faithfully. He prayed, worshiped, wrote proverbs, and honored God publicly. But slowly, something began to change. It didn't happen in a single moment. It was small, silent, and subtle, like cracks forming in a massive wall. To strengthen alliances with foreign nations, Solomon married many wives, hundreds of them. These marriages were political, but they carried spiritual danger. Many of these women worshipped idols, false gods of wood, stone, and metal. And though Solomon knew the commandments, he ignored the warning signs. Love began to pull his heart in different directions. At first, Solomon allowed his wives to worship their gods in private. Kings and queens traveled from faraway lands just to hear him speak. Then, he allowed shrines to be built. Then, he personally walked among them. And as time passed, he burned incense to foreign gods, bowed before idols, and allowed the nation God gave him to follow his example. The same man who built the temple now built altars for false gods. Israel watched in confusion. The king who once prayed with tears now prayed to gods who could not hear. The leader known for wisdom now made foolish choices. And slowly, the nation began to drift. God had been patient with Solomon. He warned him again and again. But Solomon ignored the voice of the one who blessed him. His heart had become divided, and a divided heart cannot stand. Finally, God sent a message. "Since you have turned away from me, I will tear the kingdom from your son. Yet for the sake of David, my servant, not in your days, but in the days of your son, the kingdom will be divided." It was a heartbreaking judgment. Solomon's choices would affect the entire nation. Meanwhile, enemies began to rise. Peace turned into tension. Rivals gained strength. A young man named Jeroboam received a prophecy that he would rule over 10 tribes of Israel. Fear filled Solomon's heart, and instead of turning to God for mercy, he tried to kill Jeroboam. But you cannot fight God's plan. Solomon's rule, once glorious, began to crumble. His kingdom weakened. His people grew frustrated. His heart grew weary. And the man who once wrote, "Fear God and keep his commandments," now lived far from those words. Near the end of his life, Solomon looked back and realized how far he had fallen. In the book of Ecclesiastes, he wrote with sadness, "Everything is meaningless without God." The man who once had everything discovered that when you lose your relationship with God, you lose the very foundation of life. Solomon died after 40 years of rule. His son Rehoboam took the throne, and, just as God said, the kingdom split in two. Solomon's legacy became a warning across generations. The lesson Solomon's fall teaches us powerful truths. Wisdom means nothing if the heart drifts from God. Blessings can become distractions if we stop being humble. One small compromise can grow into a life-changing mistake. Faith must be guarded daily, because even the strong can fall. But it also teaches this: no matter how far someone falls, God is always ready to restore a heart that turns back to Him. Solomon's story is not just about failure. It's a reminder to remain faithful, to protect our hearts, and to walk closely with God every day. No matter how successful we become,